Hey guys, Abby with Motor City Nerds here. Now, what up, Succession crew? Where you at? Best show on TV. I didn't know House of the Dragon wasn't coming out for another. I didn't know that season 2 wasn't happening for another 2 years. Why do you keep doing this to us? Stop it. But Succession, one, that was essentially how I started my channel, was my Succession reviews. So, Calhound, all my Succession crew, you're the best. I love you guys. But if you've been around, you know that in the best way, non-toxic way possible, I've always said that Logan Roy is very much, and Brian Cox is just very much like the uncle who raised me, and that's the uncle that I abruptly lost this past summer, and this is his, and that's all I wanted. I was like, I just want his Logan Roy sweaters. That's all I want. And so if I do get emotional during this, that's why. But oh my god, when they dropped that trailer, Mom and I got so stoked. But I don't know if I'm going to pause. Let's just get right into this trailer, because I could barely pay attention. I got so geeked when they dropped it before House of the Dragon. I realized if I skip the little logo, I don't get hit for copyright.
Everything I try to do, people turn against me.
I'm Team Logan all day.
I'm 100 feet tall. These people are pygmies.
Jerry!
Here they are. The Rebel Alliance. You Gen Royce. We have a song to sing.
I'm telling you, man. Cousin
So
Greg.
we talked about what happened?
Cousin Greg's gonna win it all. Is that it? There's gotta be more, right? There's no way that I was just that geeked about that short of a teaser, right? Okay, let's talk about this. Talk about some stuff. Okay, that is all we got. But I do like, okay, the one thing that bothered me was, okay, I know it's cliche when people say things like they use the city as its own character, but this show does it so well where New York is a character, and it's like, it's King Lear. This is how I explain Succession to people. I remember when I saw the first promo for it, and I was like, this is Game of Thrones now. This is if Tywin Lannister had a company today. And at the end of the last season, when Brian Cox tells Roman, you came for me with love, and it's almost as if Logan, I don't think Logan knows that feeling like a normal person. I don't think he does. And if you've watched my reviews, you know that I have been extremely interested to see if they talk about Logan's backstory, because obviously he blames himself for his sister's death. His brother even says that, and I think that Ewing, the brother, is the one backing the weasel that they're all talking about. And I'm in the middle of rewatching season 3, so it was so crazy that they dropped this, and I was so geeked. I'm like, oh my god, and I just need to pay attention better. And I think that Jeremy Strong, when he confesses to that murder in season 3, was some of the best acting I've ever seen. And these actors, if they do such a good job of when they've never grown up. They're always in they're Arrested Development. They're children, and especially when they're all together as siblings, it's like they're 15 years old again. And Succession is me and Mom's jammy. But I remember when I first saw the promo for the first season, I was like, this is gonna fill the Game of Thrones hole in my heart. And it did times 10. But I will say that it uses New York in such an update pop up, but it uses New York in such a way that it feels like its own character. And like I said, I know that sounds cliche, but it's like I said, it's King Lear, it's Tywin Lannister, it's him it's Logan going, this is my empire, and you're not going to take it from me. And I truly do think that Logan has his issues. And I stand by this. J. Smith Cameron, I love you. You're the best. And coming from this meant so much to me. Not only did she follow me on Twitter, which I'm like, why? You're Jerry, J. Smith Cameron. Why are you following me on Twitter, little old me? But I think this show, more than any other, has shown female characters in a better way than anything else. We get to Jerry's the hand of the king. Jerry is the hand of the king. She is one of the only people that is trusted by Logan. She is a woman in power, and if you've ever noticed in Succession, yes, there are sexual elements with Shiv thinks that sex is just something that she can get out of people. It's used in a way that I haven't seen before in TV, especially on HBO, and rarely do we see a show where it's like, no, you're not just sticking titties in our face? Okay, cool. And I like, coming from somebody who works in a male-run industry, when you think building trucks and building machinery. And that, do you think of a 19-year-old girl? Because that's what I've been doing since I was 19 years old, and I've been doing it for 10 years. Like I work on the assembly line. I'm a team leader, or I'm a tag relief. If you know what a tag relief is, that's what I do. So to see women in these roles and not have it be a thing and have them just be good at their job and be trusted at their job is so nice to see, that I give this all the praise in the world for that. But I do think Cousin Greg's going to win it all. So we got Logan looking pretty
I'm 100
distraught.
feet tall. These people are
I do like, well, I mean, I think that Logan, just like I've said in a few of my reviews, where I think Roman is Roman's the baby and I'm the baby. So I can relate to that. That you never want to think anything's going to happen to them. And no matter what, you want to protect them. And they're, I don't know, it's different when you're the baby. I can't explain it. And you just need them more. I don't know. It's weird. But Roman's almost hyping his dad up. Like, nothing's never going to take my dad down, you know? He's the toughest thing ever. But with the other siblings, it's like, no, you need to realize, like, he's getting up there. But I've been saying that I think that his brother is the one backing the weasel, and I think that Cousin Greg is the one they need to worry about, because Logan came from nothing. And the fact that Greg actually... Remember how Roman worked his way through the apprenticeship program, and Logan respected that? Greg started out in parks in a dog suit. Like... He respects that Greg actually worked and actually knows what it's like to be like, oh, I didn't eat today, and stuff like that. And Logan respects that, and I think that he would love to stick it to Ewing, and I think that his brother's either going to pass and Greg's going to get his seat, or secretly Greg's going to be the one to, quote-unquote, win the game in the end. Grandpa Grumps or Uncle Fun?
pygmies.
I'm assuming, is this, they're running around, they're taking over. Skarsgårds. Pick a Skarsgård. I say this all the time. I'm like, the Skarsgårds are taking over Hollywood. Whenever anybody's like, I need a slightly unhinged to fully unhinged white man that is hulkingly tall. Do you ever realize how big the Skarsgårds are? They're enormous. They're enormous men. We have the one who's Floki in Vikings. We have Bill Skarsgård, who's Pennywise. And then we have Orange Mocha Frappuccino, Zoolander. He's in this. What the other Skarsgård, and he's in he's abusive husband from Pretty Little Liars. And I'm assuming this is where they're at here. And I did see a lot of people complaining about season 3 not having these big sprawling places and shots. And I was like, wait, did you guys forget about the pandemic that happened? That probably put a real halt on things. And I also think it's why we didn't get as many group shots and group scenes together. And I'm waiting for Marsha to make her comeback, and you can tell that Logan feels alone by the end of season 3. And always remember, and I tell people this all the time, the strongest piece on a chessboard is the queen, because you protect the king. You feel me? And he needs Marsha back.
Here they are. The
So we
Rebel
got-
Alliance. New Gen Royce. We have a song to sing.
So I think that Greg's going to flip sides, first and foremost. I think Greg's going to stay with Uncle Logan.
Do you want to talk about what happened?
I think it's going to be Greg and Roman that go back to Logan, and then Shiv, Connor, and I think we're going to think that Connor's going to be on Logan's side, but then it's going to be Shiv, Connor, because Connor's kind of the Fredo, where he's kind of pushed to the side, and he is kind of feeling a certain kind of way about that now. So I definitely think that Shiv, Connor, and Kendall are going to end up on one side, and I think that Roman, Greg, and Logan are going to end up on the other. And I like this. This is the Dance of Dragons. This is the Succession version of the Dance of Dragons. And I feel bad for Tom. People were saying like they didn't feel like, people were calling Tom a creep and stuff. I never got that. I don't think that. I think Tom wants unconditional love, and he thinks, like a lot of people do, a baby will fix that, and that's not that's not the case. A baby will not fix anything, okay? And don't just say, like, oh yeah, that'll bring a baby into the world, will make everything better for me and this person. No, it won't. But I think that Tom just wants somebody or something to. That's why he loves his dog so much. And I don't want to compare babies to dogs, but that's kind of how this family is. Like, money is not a problem to them. So it's like, I think Tom just wants somebody to truly, unconditionally love him. But is that all we got? God damn, it's so good. It's so good. Thank God. I wish it was coming sooner. But either way, I'm geeked. I think, honestly, I'm not even lying to you guys. I'm more excited for Succession than I am for House of the Dragon. Is that... And I have Fire and Blood right here. Underneath this direwolf. And this Iron Throne. But I'm just saying, like, it's that good. So if you're not caught up, I highly suggest you do. But I definitely think that Cousin Greg is secretly going to win it all in the end. Or get close to winning it all, if you want to call it that. But I definitely think he's going to get his grandpa's board seat. And I'm so excited to have the Succession crew back. I'm so excited that now I've kind of gotten a little bit better at this. So yeah, I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Let me know what team you're on down below. Jerry all day. J. Smith Cameron, I don't know why you follow me on Twitter, but I love you and I think you're great. And I love all the women in this show. Like I said, I especially when like Vikings was on and this came out and Game of Thrones, I was like, wow. Especially with this though, it's like, wow, we finally can see ladies not, and it's not a thing. Like I've talked about with my interview with the vampire stuff. When you start saying it and going like, lady, 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 that's when it's pandering and it's gross. How about we just have a competent woman in this job that's good at it and it's not questioned? Because that's how it is in the world sometimes. Sometimes it's not like that. But because that's addressed in the show where they're like, we need a token woman to stick out there. But they address that. But when it comes to Jerry specifically, like I said, she's the hand of the king. She's trusted. He knows that she's good at her job. She can be relied on. I love Jerry. I think she's my second favorite character. But yeah, I'm Team Logan all day, and I know that's jacked up, but it's because he reminds me of my uncle that raised me, and I'm not going to apologize for it. And, like, there's something to be said for... Do I think he's right? No. Do I think some of the things he says are right? No. And I've talked about this at length. I think that the way he was using gay slurs last season I think he was doing that on purpose because he wanted to know what was going on in his own gross Logan way. That was his way of going like, I really don't give a shit what you do, but when it comes to this, we hold it down. Like, so whatever you need to do, go do it, but whatever. And I'm not justifying using that word. It's gross. You shouldn't do that. That's why I would love to see Logan's backstory. I want to know what happened with him and Ewing before they came over to Canada, because I think that something happened with that uncle and something happened to that sister, and I think it was bad. And I think that is why the scars are on his back. I think that's why Logan says the slurs he does. I think that's why he looks at sex the way he does. I think there's a lot of interesting parts to Logan there. But I'd love to hear more about his backstory. And like I said, he blames himself for his sister's death, but we'll get all into that because Succession's coming back, everybody. And God, man, House of the Dragon, are you really going to take 2 years? Are you serious?